So, PlayStation had their State of Play today, and this was the one I talked about in an earlier video with that huge list of very much potential things to show up. And although I didn't really find a lot to be excited about in this State of Play, there was one thing that I got really excited about at the very end. I teased it in the rumor video, but Ghosts of Tsushima 2 was rumored to be here, and it was, except it's not called Ghosts of Tsushima 2. It looks like the franchise is going the anthology route, and I'm very excited for it. Ghosts of Tsushima 2 turns out to be Ghosts of Yotei. It's either Yotei or Yotei. I don't really know how to pronounce that, to be completely honest, but Ghosts of Yotei is how I'm going to pronounce it. This game looks amazing. They showed a lot more gameplay than I thought we would ever see at a reveal trailer for it. Seeing the Sucker Punch logo come on the screen was just one of the most enthralling experiences I've had at a State of Play or slash showcase or event all year. And we got some more information about the game. So that's mainly what I'm going to be talking about here. And then at the end, I'm going to have a little bit of a tangent for a certain group on the internet that's just full of idiots, and that'll be at the end here. But Ghost of Yotei is a sequel to Ghost of Tsushima. It's very obvious in the logo and in the name and in the trailer that we received. There's no doubt about it, and we've learned some stuff about it. So the game is set 300 years after the first game, which I think is great. I think that's a really great way of establishing a whole new world in a very close proximity location to the original game, because we're not leaving Japan in any way. It looks like the region of Japan we're going to be exploring is Ezo, E-Z-O, and again, I probably am butchering the pronunciation, so I apologize for that. Even in just this first reveal trailer, we got shown so many insane sight lines. I mean, there's the shot of the main character under the mountain or running with all of the horses in the field, and it just, everything about it looks really good. And the snippets of gameplay that we actually got looks like the engine is pretty much the same, but just improved on, and it looks super smooth and super good. Now, the first game had a very successful story, and it had a very successful main protagonist. Now, there's a lot of people that are unsure about this game just because of what we've seen so far. And I just want to say, we have seen nothing so far. This game is set to release in 2025. We don't have a release date, which means there's a very big potential it could get pushed back from there. And there's just not a lot to go off of here. And I'm super okay with this. I didn't really want them to show too much. I'm just scrolling through the screenshots of what we see, and the game looks absolutely incredible. Now, from what we can tell from the trailer, it looks like being a ghost is a very huge factor. Just like obviously in the first game, that's a part of Jin's entire story. But for the first game, there was a lot of, it seemed like, internal struggle with Jin of balancing being a samurai and accepting his role as a ghost. In this trailer, at least from what we can see, that struggle does not look like it's apparent here. It looks like we're going full basic assassin almost. And I'm here for this. I can't say it enough. It looks so good. The game is set in 1603, so again, a very big time jump. Sucker Punch has also teased that there's going to be improved graphics across the board, which is very obvious from the trailer, but they also say there's going to be new gameplay mechanics, so I'm thinking there's probably going to be some more traversal, a lot like in the first game with the grappling hook and the horse and everything like that. There's probably going to be more there, and there's probably going to be more stances as well, or different ones, and then much more. So I'm excited to see what they do here. Now, the rest of the State of Play, there was probably like 2 or 3 things in the entire State of Play that I actually cared about. There was this, there was the Astrobot thing at the start, and then there was a couple games scattered throughout there. But otherwise, the State of Play was not the best. Now, I'm going to say, and I'm going to give an excuse to people who are very upset at this game because maybe they were expecting more. from the state of play. And that's totally okay if they're a little hot-headed right off the start. Now, before I say what I'm about to say here, if you don't like controversial opinions, you can click off the video. That's totally okay. And again, I respect like 99% of people who have a different opinion than me. I think it's healthy to have different opinions and have different discussions based on every opinion, but that doesn't mean that other opinions can't be absolutely stupid. And that's what I am going to talk about here. Now, of course, since we're going from a game who had a male protagonist in the first game, and we're going to a game that has now a female protagonist, people immediately jumped to the woke ship and talking about how this game is going to be woke and how it's going to be a flop and how PlayStation is just a bunch of woke people who don't care about games anymore. Now, I usually don't talk about that argument because, as you can probably tell on the channel, I have not covered Assassin's Creed Shadows because I don't want my house to get bombed. Okay, like I don't need my IP address out there. I just don't need it, and I feel like it's gonna happen with this one. But I just love the original Ghost of Tsushima so much. It's my favorite PlayStation original IP. I like it more than The Last of Us. I like it more than Spider-Man PS4. Like, and I'm a huge Marvel fan. Okay, so this Ghost of Tsushima is literally my favorite PlayStation title ever. I love it. I don't know why. Maybe it's because I love samurai. Who cares, right? It doesn't really matter, and that's my opinion, and that's totally fine. But we've seen nothing about this game. We don't know the central conflict of the story. We don't know why Atsu is a ghost or if she's related to Jin in any way. We barely know the setting of the game, and we don't know the central themes. So people already writing this game off as woke are some of the stupidest people on the internet. I swear to God, like, it's so crazy. It really boils down to an internal sexist argument. It really does, because people see like a female character on screen and automatically lose it. Like, if you are upset that Jin isn't in this game, that is completely different. That is a totally valid thing to be upset about. And if Jin isn't mentioned in this game, whether it's a side quest, whether it's one of those quests where they dive into the history of the ghosts or of Japan, then I will be upset, rightfully so. But to be upset that Jin's not here because it's a woman protagonist is very not okay. It's kind of like the Red Dead Redemption 2 argument. People were mad because Red Dead Redemption 2 followed a different protagonist, and I think that's a totally valid thing to be upset about. But look at how that game turned out. That game is it's touted as one of the best games to ever be made, right alongside the first one. So we can't really have this argument about if this game is woke or not, because we don't know. And people just jumping ship and writing it off are just so stupid. And it's always the same people. I genuinely think people now have a problem with being able to think for themselves. The internet is such an echo chamber, and you're going to only be shown content that you understand or that you relate to or things you like. Or you really, if you're sitting here looking at this, 48 to a minute trailer, 48 second to a minute trailer, and you're sitting here and the first thing you think of when everything is shown is that this game looks woke, there's no helping you at that point. I'm sorry, I'm not trying to be an ass, but it's so disheartening to see, because some of these people can drive a car, they can vote, they're adults in society, and it's just so fucking crazy, man. We don't even know the conflict. Like, we don't even know. Now, can I be completely wrong when this game comes out and it's way too woke with its messaging or way too advanced with what it's trying to push on people? Could it be pushing a narrative? Yeah. I could totally be wrong in 2025 when that happens. But again, we don't know yet. So people who want to write this game off just because it's a female character, there's no hope for you. I'm sorry. I'm really not trying to be mean. And again, if it's your opinion that Jin Sakai would be a better protagonist, we can't argue about that yet because we don't know. But if you want to say he more than likely will be, I'll probably agree with that. Jin's story just resonated with a lot lot of people. And although I had my gripes with it, I don't think that the story was complete. I would have loved to see a continuation from him. This makes me just as happy because we're getting a whole new story. Will there be callbacks? Yes. Will there be mentions of it? There definitely should be, or else I don't think it's a good sequel. I think we just really need to calm down and we need to wait a little bit before we actually start tearing this game apart. Because for all we know, this game could be like Red Dead Redemption 2 levels of good, or it could be Concord levels of bad. And we just don't know yet. So having the argument is fucking stupid, and I'm not even going to have it. If that's how you feel, I'm sorry that I've come at you this entire video, but I genuinely don't respect anybody who has that opinion right now, because we just don't know anything about the game. And then the rest of the state of play, just dumb, just stupid. I didn't like any of it, honestly. It was there's like, what, Hell Is Us? That game looks cool, but then there's like 5 other VR games that I just don't care for. Yeah, now that I'm done with that hot takey video, let me know what you think in the comment section down below. If you have some opinions about the state of play, I'd love to hear it. Again, I didn't really enjoy the state of play. I didn't really enjoy a lot about it, but this was definitely the highlight for me. So let me know in the comment sections down below if you're excited for Ghost of Yotei, or Yotei, or however you say it. Again, I apologize for butchering it, not Japanese. So I'm sorry, but let me know what you think, and I will see you guys in the next video. Take care.